My name is Genevieve Judge, and I'm the Public Information Officer for the Sarasota Police Department. We've gathered you all here this morning to discuss a shooting investigation that occurred early this morning. First up, we're going to have Deputy Chief Pat Robinson speak with you from the Sarasota Police Department, and secondly will be Fire Chief Michael Regner with the Fire Department. With that, gentlemen.
Good morning. My name is Pat Robinson. I'm the Deputy Chief of Police at the Sarasota Police Department. This morning, our officers responded to a call for backup from our partners at the Fire Department, who were responding to a medical call just behind us down the street on the right-hand side. During that medical call for service, it was ascertained that the call that came in was actually not placed by the residents. When the paramedics were walking back to their ambulance, they encountered a gentleman who began shooting at them. Neither of the paramedics were shot, but there were a number of rounds that hit the ambulance. The paramedics then left the scene, and our officers responded, and we've held the scene since then. Chief?
Good morning. My name is Mike Regner. I'm the Fire Chief for Sarasota County Fire Department. That is correct. We did respond this morning at approximately 3:55 a.m. Our unit arrived about 5 minutes later, went to the residence where the call originated. They determined that the call was not from that residence and started to return back to service, where they did take fire. Again, no one was injured or struck from the shots. We contacted SPD for assistance, and our unit did what they were supposed to do, which is immediately left the scene as quickly as possible so that they were uninjured and maintained that way. So we're here to answer any questions regarding this, but just wanted to let you know that this did take place, and we are doing some processes within the fire department to change the way we respond this morning to make sure our units remain safe throughout.
This is one of the dangers of being a first responder, correct? That's usually why you stage for sheriff to come in and help out, or PD to come in, usually, right?
We have processes in place where if we determine that a call could be a problem or a significance, we do stage, and we allow the professionals from the police department, sheriff department, what other law enforcement agencies to take care of that incident before we respond. That's correct.
At this point this morning, that didn't seem to be the case, that you needed to have a stage?
When we received the call, it was not a out of the ordinary call, it was a routine call. So our personnel responded as normal. When they determined that there was not an emergency at the residence, they left like they were supposed to, but encountered that individual. Yes.
Was the ambulance struck?
Yes, the ambulance was struck.
What kind of damage?
It's minor damage, and I believe our PIOs will be releasing those photos to press later today.
How many times? Shot twice? Or?
I can't release that just right now. As I said, I'd like to give the detectives a little bit more time to work on it before we start releasing specific case facts. But that'll all be updated later this afternoon.
Is this area in danger? I mean, who are you guys looking for?
At this juncture, we have a very generalized description of the suspect. It was a male with a hoodie. That's about all the information that I can release at this juncture. But there's a number of leads that we're following up on. This does appear to be specifically pointed towards the individuals or the ambulance itself. As far as I know at this juncture, none of the other areas were struck behind us. So at this juncture, I would say that there's no overt danger to this neighborhood as of this moment, but obviously be vigilant. If there's anything that you see out of the ordinary, please call us and let us know. The chief and I were just discussing the response for the next few days for paramedics in the area, and we're going to be upping our response to back them up on calls for service that are just general in nature. Generally, as the chief said, there is a protocol in place, but we're going to expand our footprint to assure their folks that they're going to be safe until we get this investigation underway a little bit further.
Chief, did any of the paramedics come in direct contact with this guy or have any conversation with this guy with the hoodie?
Not that we're aware of at this juncture.
How close was the shooter to the paramedics?
Across the street.
Across the street. Prior to this, were there any paramedics threatened, or was just the paramedic crew in general threatened?
Not that we're aware of at this juncture. Like I said, it's too early in the investigation to say that either of these two paramedics had anything personally to do with anything at all. It might, unfortunately, in today's day and age, just wearing a uniform or in a big emergency vehicle with lights and sirens could make you a target.
So that phone call that came into the Sarasota County Fire Department for you all to respond, did you guys ever find out who exactly made the call, since that resident said that they didn't call you guys?
That's one of the things that our detectives are currently following up on right now.
Chief Regner, where do you go from here with your paramedics? What do you do in a situation like this to protect them and what precautions can they take?
Well, there's two different scenarios here. Specifically, the individuals that were involved, we're talking to them, getting them assistance to make sure they're okay. Obviously, they're safe, but we want to make sure that if they have any questions or anything like that, we can assist them with that. And then for the department itself, as well as the other departments in the area, we're notifying the other departments. We want everybody to be on, have more of a situational awareness and be safe, even more so, have a heightened awareness of what's going on out there. So we've let our personnel know at the fire stations, and we're taking appropriate steps. We have steps that we do take that we're not going to share with you, but what they're going to do in the future for the next 24, 48 hours, and we're going to maintain that close contact with law enforcement to deal with those issues.
Now you're going to have the short term. Is this going to change the long-term procedures that you guys are going to, that you already have in place? Or at this point, you're not going to say?
Well, we're going to look at everything that transpires from this incident. We're always looking at the safety of our responders. First and foremost, that's the number one priority, is the responders and the community at large. So we're going to take a look at everything that transpired here today, and then also move from there and work more so with the law enforcement to see what we can do to make things better and safer.
Chief, how hard is it to get a phone call like this? I mean, this is something we've heard across the nation happening, but something we don't think about happening right here in our little Sarasota town.
Right, it is very difficult to receive the call. The very first question is anybody hurt? And once that happens and you find out that no one is hurt, what are we doing? Where are we going? As you know, what's the next step? So we've mobilized and we're working together to work through all of those issues, but obviously very, very troublesome to receive a call like that, anybody.
Has this happened before here?
You know, the last time that we had an incident like this, I believe I was just talking to one of our officers who is a former fire department employee, was in the late 80s, early 90s. A fire department was actually shot here in the city over on Old Bradenton, but that was the last time that we've had a specific incident in regards to a fire department personnel either being assaulted or being shot at. But let me say this: the Sarasota Police Department has a great working relationship with the fire department and the county in general. A shooting like this, you know, anytime that one of our first responders is assaulted or shot at, it is a big deal. That's not just an assault on the individuals that were driving that truck, the fire department as a whole, but all first responders, and truly that's an assault on the community. The people that are out here that are providing services, these two paramedics were driving out here to a call for service. They thought they were going to be rendering aid to someone in need. What they were confronted with was an individual that meant to do them harm. At this juncture, we are taking this as seriously as any other case that we will work. We're going to work tirelessly with the fire department to ensure that they are safe, to ensure that this community is safe, because an assault on the fire department, on first responders, nurses, teachers, this is an assault on our community, and we're not going to stand for that.
Characterize this neighborhood for us.
Characterize it?
Yes.
It's just like everybody else's neighborhood. It has positives, it has negatives, it has people that come through here. At this juncture, we don't know if this suspect is from this area. We don't know if this suspect lives in the neighborhood, doesn't live in the neighborhood. I think it's too early to speculate on that at this juncture, but I can tell you that, as you can see behind me, there's about 10 detectives that are canvassing the crime scene and at least 4 marked units out here. We're going to work this thing until we get some answers.
Is this a normally quiet neighborhood, though? I mean, do you get calls in this area often?
We do get calls in this neighborhood quite a bit. We've had a couple incidents involving firearms here in the last 3 months. Those are still under investigation. Some suspects have been identified, and some are still actively being worked. But just like any neighborhood, it has its positives and its negatives.
What kind of person would actually shoot at an ambulance like this?
Gosh, you know, that, who knows? And like I said, I don't want to speculate. It's too early in the investigation for that. But like I said, you know, these are folks that are out here trying to do what's right for their community. I mean, they basically live and work here. They live at Station 400 almost 24 hours a day. You know, and when they come under assault, it's an assault on this entire city and this community and all the first responders throughout the country. Absolutely, thank you. And there'll be another update later this afternoon through our combined PIO efforts. Miss Judge and Ashley from the fire department will be reaching out with additional information. As I said, please be patient. These are complicated investigations, and we will be providing you with as much information as we can as we move along. Thank you all very much for coming out today. And one more thing, if anyone knows anything about what's going on in this regarding this case, please call us. Please let us know. And if you don't want to call the police department, use Crime Stoppers, reach out. You can do it anonymously. But this is it's going to take a whole community to solve this case. So thank you very much for being out here, Chief. Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.